Hello and welcome back to video number 2 in our Beginner Apex series. First things first though, I just want to say thank you to everybody for the overwhelmingly positive response to the first video. Never thought it would see 1,000 views. Most people would see that and think, oh, 1,000 views, whatever, but that's incredibly higher than what I thought the video would get. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. But now, without further ado, let's get into it. Today's lesson is on cover and using cover. So now, most people when they think of cover, they just think get behind something so I can't be shot. But we're gonna go a little more in depth into what it really is today. So be prepared, we're gonna do a little bit of math today. Not a lot, just a little. This is an example of what you look like when you're in the open. Now, aside from the point on which you're standing, you can be shot from every angle. So in this example, let's say you can be shot from 99% of available vantage points. Another way to think about it is in terms of volume, length times width times height. Now, cover's job is to reduce that percentage by blocking to those degrees the vantage points that your opponents can have. Another good rule of thumb is if you can't see them, they can't see you. A common mistake I see from beginners and casuals is they don't peek around cover in order to gain information. They'll shoot around cover, that's fine too, but you also need to be gaining information. If you're taking a shield bat, if you're being pushed, you need to know these things are happening so you can respond in kind. Nearly 100% of the time, if the enemy is pushing you, they're in the open, and that's the best time for you to either get damage or your teammates to get damage. Now, I love MS Paint as much as you do, but let's see a live example of using cover. So the first thing to notice here is I'm the one out of cover. So I bully this conduit off her cover, and now, oh look. Someone is now 90% exposed to my shots. Now, something to note here is I don't wide swing this. I'm still playing the cover because I know there's a teammate there. But I come up with a kill and take this 1v1. Fuse is at least using this cover, but they're overextending, and I clean that up nicely. Using cover properly will help you win a lot of 2v1s and other negative situations like that. Don't just settle for my word for it. Let's watch Imperial Hal do the same thing.
80 cracked on that guy.
Bro, these angles, man. I cracked two of them.
Come here, shot the back. One shot. He's literally one right there. I'm getting shot in the back, man. Split right, he topped off. I had that. Or just die. Uh-oh, I'm going now.
Someone help me?
Yep, come on. I'm dead.
So you might have noticed that for about 70 to 80% of that clip, Hal was in cover using it to win that fight. And he does that about 70 to 80% of the time because it wins fights. That's not to say you can't win a fight in the open. Gun skill does heavily matter, but using cover gives you a distinct advantage over anyone not using it. The goal of this video is to gain more perspective on what cover is and how to use it. I do believe this will help beginners and casuals fight a little better from cover. And with that, we come to the end of another video. I know this video was only a little longer than the last one. We're working on getting more lengthy topics to discuss. I could probably go deeper into what cover is, but to give beginners a chance to grasp a new way of thinking about it, I don't want to go too crazy with it. I want to thank everyone who commented on the last video. A lot of people had very constructive thoughts, and I appreciate that. I think a lot of improvements were made on this video, and a lot more are going to be made on future videos to when we finally get it down pat 100% and I can knock these out daily instead of weekly, and I'm excited to get to that point. A few afterthoughts, social media, all that stuff. I'm on all of it, so feel free to follow me on any other platform. I do stream on Twitch Mondays and Thursdays, maybe random sporadic weekend days, nothing set in stone. That's just like a flex stream. I'm playing a lot of different games right now and watching ALGS, but I also want to kind of play with anyone who wants to learn more. I've taught a few students recently and over the last 5 years who have just started the game and their win percentage skyrockets after playing with me for a couple weeks. So I'd like to impart any knowledge I can onto anyone who wants to support this YouTube or Twitch adventure. I'm going to continue to make videos, obviously, on more grander topics to help, but there's nothing better than a 1v1 coaching session. You know, like we can do 1v1s in the range, or we can actually play the game in pubs, and there's just a lot to learn from playing. Well, but with that, if you learned anything, please like, comment, subscribe. It just hurts me to say that, but please, it helps the video. And thank you guys again for the support on the last one. And with that, we will catch y'all in the Apex games.